Hi, this is Raymond Rose. Thanks for tuning in. Today's subject is going to be quite controversial. I think you may hear some things from me that most people aren't going to say to you. So, thank you right now for joining me. We're going to talk about the enemies that you and I have in life. And you're probably saying to yourself, "What do you mean enemies? What is that all about?" So, one of the things I learned many years ago is to define exactly what my enemies are and what do I need to do every single day to make sure that I keep those enemies away from me. So, that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about my 9 enemies, and I'm going to presume those are the exact same enemies that you have. Before I get into that, I just recorded a podcast regarding what makes you happy. Do you have a happiness list? So, the happiness list really is the one that you should listen to first, if you can, that talks about what makes you happy, because this is a follow up to that, talks about what are your enemies. So, in my happiness list, I said that I want to live a long, happy, healthy life. I want to spend lots of time with my family and my friends, and all the different specific goals that I had that do truly bring excitement and fun into my life. My enemies in this enemies list are the things that are going to prevent me from being happy and from living the best life I possibly can. So here goes my list of 9 enemies. And like I said, I really think they're probably the same as yours. And be ready, because some of these are pretty, like I said, well, you're going to be surprised with my list. Because my first thing is, what's my first enemy? It's death. I don't want to die. I'm very blessed right now. I'm having a very fun and exciting life. I have lots of love with my family and my friends. Everything is going well. I don't have stress. Bottom line is, I don't want to die. That's one of my enemies. Because number two, as a follow up to that, I don't want to have any illness in my life. I don't want to have disease. I don't want my lifestyle to create possibly a form. I don't want to have cancer. I don't want to have heart disease. I don't want to have a stroke. I don't want to have dementia. I don't want to have stress. I don't want to be putting myself in a position where any of those things are going to disrupt the different fun and excitement and happiness that I'm having in my life every day. So I'm clearly focused. I'm not overwhelmed with this. Don't get me wrong. I don't dwell on this. I just want to make sure that I'm doing my best to make sure that I'm not putting myself in a position. So, for example, I'm not one that smokes. I don't want to put myself in a position that I'm smoking cigarettes and then someday I'm going to find out I have lung cancer or some type of disease. I'm not going to do that to myself. I'm not a heavy drinker. I'm not a drinker, period, actually. I'm not an alcohol person. But the bottom line is, I'm not doing things to my body that are going to create disease and pain and issues further on. Number three, I don't want to be involved in any type of accident. I don't want to have an auto accident. I don't want to trip and fall. I don't want to hit my head. I don't want to fall off my bike. I don't want to put myself in any type of accident, because now I could have either permanent disabilities or temporary disabilities. Again, to be very blunt, I don't want to put myself in a position where all of a sudden I'm not able to live an active lifestyle and be able to get around on my own. And I don't want to lose my driver's license. I mean, all those things. So I do my best not to put myself in a position where and I'll give you a perfect example of this. My cousins live 7 miles away from me. I can drive through heavy traffic and 6 sets of traffic lights and stop and go and cars cutting off one another or whatever. And I can be at my cousin's house in about 13 minutes. Or I can drive the back roads, not come across one traffic light, maybe come across just a few cars because it's a country ride. It's going to take me 20 minutes to get there. So what do I want to do? Do I want to take the 13 minutes and really put myself in a position? And some of you will say, sure, I'll drive, through those crazy traffic conditions and cars cutting off one another. Or some people might say you'll go for the 20-minute leisurely ride where the risk of an accident is minimal. I'm the second guy. I'm the one that's taking that extra drive. Number 4 on my enemy list, I don't want to have an operation. I don't want to have a doctor cutting into my body. I don't want to have to worry about a knee replacement, or I don't want to worry about a dental root canal. I don't want to have a hip replacement. I don't want to have any of those things happening to me. I don't want to have to be taking drugs. I don't want to have to be taking antibiotics. I don't want to put myself in a position where I may have caused cancer based on my diet, by high levels of sugar and things like that. I don't want to be taking chemotherapy. I don't want any of that stuff. Those are enemies. I don't want to put myself in that position. Number 5, I've got the best family. So one of my things is, an enemy is making sure that my family is happy, making sure that my family There's no issues with the family. There's no inter-family fighting or any of those other things, because number 6, I want to do my best too to help my family stay healthy and minimize any disabilities or some of the things we just talked about. And when I say family, I don't mean just my immediate family, but my friends that are like family that I've surrounded myself with. In other words, I'm going to share with them all the different things that I'm doing, and hopefully we all are happy together, we all grow old together, and we have lots of fun. Number 7, I'm doing my very best not to eat any unhealthy foods. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of this list. It's called the 5 white poisons. Again, I'll say it, the 5 white poisons. What are they? Sugar. Let's see if you know. Ready? Follow along. Let's think it through together. 5 white poisons. Ready? Sugar, salt, dairy, white flour, and bad fats from processed foods. I do my very best to minimize those things going into my body. There's so much scientific proof, and don't take my word for it. Go online, do internet searches, look at all the different peer-reviewed articles from Harvard Medical or from Johns Hopkins or from the Cleveland Clinic or Stanford Business, all those different places that verify that those things are really, really, really bad for your body. Those are enemies to me. I don't want that. Number 8, people and things that are time wasters. People on Monday, what things am I doing every single day that really don't have to be done, or I could be delegating out to somebody else, or any of those things. I have a friend of mine that still changes their own oil in their car, and I'm like, what are you thinking? They're like, well, I don't want to spend the money. Or no, wait a minute, spend the $39 or the $29 and have somebody do that. It's not worth the time, in my opinion, to go driving around, going to the auto parts store, buying the filter, buying the oil, putting your car up, wasting a Saturday morning or a Sunday afternoon changing your oil when you can spend $30, $40 and have somebody do it for you. I don't want to do those things. I want to have lots of free time. I don't want to be on that little hamster wheel where I'm going all the time. Because number 9, I want to have plenty of free time for myself. Not only do I want to have excellent health, I want to have plenty of free time to relax, spend time with the family, spend time by myself. I want to make sure that I'm able to go for a little leisurely walk or read a book if I want. I just want to have time for myself. And if I don't have, and it's all about time, I manage my time in such a way that I've got enough time in my schedule to do all the things I just mentioned. So number 9 enemy is not having enough time in my life. So those are my 9 enemies. Like I said, I got to believe they're the same for you. Just, death and injuries and accidents and disabilities and pain and family struggles and food. All those things are my enemies. I don't dwell on them. I absolutely do not dwell on them. But I definitely know that they're not good for me. And that's why my goal in life, as you've heard from some of my other podcasts, and also to share with you, is I want to have lots of free time. I want to have excellent health. I want to have plenty of money, and I don't want to have to be on that little hamster wheel or be stressed out. So I manage all of those things very, very well. And thus far in my life, it's worked out perfectly for me. So that's it for today. Hopefully you got some good information out of it. Like I make a podcast like this every single day based on the 4 areas I just mentioned: your health, your time, your money, and your habits. If you found value in this, I'd appreciate it if you would hit the black button and subscribe to my channel. There's never any videos to watch. There's nothing that's going to distract you while you're driving your car. I get to the point. I do my best not to waste your time. So that's it for today. If you found some value with this, please share it with your family and friends. And until tomorrow, this is Raymond Rose. I'll talk to you then.